Support for Just Seen It comes from Warner Archive Instant. Streaming hard-to-find movies and TV shows direct from the studio at WarnerArchiveInstant.com. Support for Just Seen It comes from Weaver's Coffee and Tea, makers of hand-roasted artisan coffee and hand-blended tea. Learn more at weaverscoffee.com. A high-tech portable nuclear device goes missing.
At the height of the Cold War, a megaton device was smuggled into Moscow piece by piece and then reassembled.
Retired CIA agent Frank Moses is assigned to track it down.
11 million people are going to lose their lives if you don't help me. Is there any way you can tell us where the bomb is? I invented it.
So he collects his band of former misfits for one final mission in Red 2.
Hi, I'm Salim.
I'm Zorianna.
And I'm Aaron, and today we're here to talk about the new film starring Bruce Willis, John Malkovich, Anthony Hopkins, Helen Mirren, and Mary-Louise Parker, Red 2. We've all just seen it. Salim, start it off.
Well, I actually saw the first Red when I was at home at my parents' house, seeing it on the television, and that's honestly where it belongs. Couch viewing through and through. And Red 2 is very much the same, very pedestrian in terms of the plotting. I actually liked a lot of the setup of the villains, setup some of the characters, but then it really just gets lost with all these ridiculous twists and story that just doesn't really make any sense.
There's so little difference from this and Red, the original film. Of course, we have the same writers, John and Erich Hoeber, who did the previous film.
And have done such masterpieces as Battleship and Whiteout.
Yes, that's true.
But because of that, that's why you don't really have to worry your brain cells about the plot. Enemies and allies switch sides so fast in this movie that if you go to the bathroom and come back, it's likely that there'll be a whole new set of partnerships. Just, it's okay to be confused.
Well, the problem, that's a problem. I mean, it's entertaining to watch all of these actors, but all these twists are so obvious and confusing at the same time, and it just doesn't make for a very good movie.
Yeah, no, it's way too plot heavy. There's actually a bit of it where the audience is way ahead of the characters on screen, which is never a good thing because then you're just telling the characters, hurry up and figure out what I already have figured out.
Yeah, well, that made me just want to watch the action sequences, which are fun, but again, they're derivative. They're nothing new and spectacular. Regardless of all that, I think we can say that the acting is good. Mary-Louise Parker playing Frank's girlfriend, Sarah, probably the most entertaining part of the film because she's sort of this fish out of water and, you know, she's being introduced into the assassin world and wants to be a part of it, and I enjoyed her the most.
Well, this film is essentially Expendables with Oscar winners.
Yes.
Helen Mirren, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Anthony Hopkins. But if it wasn't for this cast, this film would go straight to DVD.
Thank God that Bruce Willis was in it as Frank Moses, our lead character. He brings the quips, he brings the humor. He's not John McClane status, but...
My problem with that is that Bruce Willis, I feel like he plays the same character. He's this everyman, this gruff guy with a heart. And I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more nuanced in this film. I mean, they tried...
Bruce Willis nuanced?
That's what I'm saying. They could attempt
Have you
it.
seen Death Becomes Her?
Oh, no, I understand that. I mean, but of course they're going for what works, and you know, I get that. But I wanted to see something a little bit different.
No, he just walks through every movie at this point.
Yeah.
He's got
right.
his shtick down pat. He doesn't have to try hard. He knows what the audience wants.
Yeah.
He just does it.
You ignored my messages. I am happy. You're desperate. I can make this work. Frank, you're playing house. Look, I'm retired, okay? I'm happy. We are happy. Frank, you haven't killed anybody in months. And you know what? It's not a bad thing, okay? It's a positive thing.
It's funny that John Malkovich has become the comedy in a lot of movies now, especially after Burn After Reading. It seems like he's just the nutty guy who just either turns it up to 10 or to 15, and this time it was to 20, which was great.
But they all look like they're having fun.
No, that's
though.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's great, like because the humor is there. He is able to elicit humor. He has good timing. I love the relationship with him and Mary-Louise Parker. That's one of the other very fun parts of it. So I like it. I just feel like. Is this what John Malkovich does now? I hope not.
And where else are you going to see Helen Mirren as a gun-toting killing machine?
Yeah, I mean, for me...
She's great too, yeah.
When I saw the first Red, I was like, hey, Helen Mirren shooting automatic weapons. I'm on board.
Yeah.
And again, that's there this time. However, there were a couple action scenes here and there that it didn't really suit her that well. There's a scene where she's in a car and shooting two pistols.
I
We've
like
seen a
that.
million...
I like that scene.
I wanted to
Although
like
you
it,
could
but it's-
really,
you can really tell her.
know when there's a stunt double and,
And that's
when
what-
it's her.
MI6 has just given me a contract to kill you. Apparently, you're guilty of nuclear terrorism, murder, and you're #1 on Interpol's Most Wanted.
What did you say?
Well, I said yes. You know, the money's good, and anyway, if I don't do it, somebody else will.
Our director is Dean Parisot, who
Wait, a director directed this movie?
Yeah.
There was actually someone directing
There
this?
was. But you know what? This guy directed Galaxy Quest, one of
Which
the best
I
sci-fi
love.
comedies.
Oh, I
Yes,
love that
which I
movie.
love,
It's so
which
good.
is why this is such a disappointment.
Yeah, well, the real problem is that there just isn't much visual flair at all. I mean, the color palette is nice. There's these scene transitions that are shot in red and black that give it a graphic novel aesthetic, and they're cool, but that's really all there is that's visually exciting.
Dean Parisot lately has been doing more TV work. Modern Family, Justified, The Good Wife. And TV by nature is very formulaic, and I feel like he took that formula and took it over to the film side instead of feeling like in features he can just be a little bit more free and open and take some risks and chances.
A fun watch on the couch, Red 2 will only entertain in spurts. Stream it.
Red 2 is the summer's most unanticipated sequel. I say skip it.
Red 2 is quite derivative and a little uninteresting, but the cast does make it an enjoyable watch on the couch. Stream it.
All right, our votes add up to 1 full ticket, which is a stream it for Red 2.
Due to the self-reflexive nature of Red 2, I find it indubitably ineffective.
Support for Just Seen It comes from Warner Archive Instant. Streaming hard-to-find movies and TV shows direct from the studio at WarnerArchiveInstant.com. Support for Just Seen It comes from Weaver's Coffee and Tea, makers of hand-roasted artisan coffee and hand-blended tea. Learn more at weaverscoffee.com.